CO4, which is writing, interpreting, and evaluating algebraic expressions, basically going from the verbal to the mathematical and the mathematical to the verbal. So first of all, what is an expression? And of course, we are talking about the mathematical expression here, not a facial expression, right? Mathematical. Yes?
An equation with no answer.
Actually, an expression is different from an equation. They are two different things.
Yeah, it's like a problem. You know, no equal sign.
Okay, and why doesn't it have an equal sign?
Because it doesn't answer.
Okay, what does the equal sign give an expression? It gives it a value, right? An expression doesn't have a value. An expression is merely a mathematical statement. A mathematical statement. So we are going to work with variables today, but we're not going to solve anything unless I give you a value for the variable. You can plug it in, and then you can solve the expression. You can evaluate the expression and give it a value. An expression just by itself, no equal sign, is a mathematical statement. A variable is what? Yes?
It's like a letter that means something.
Okay, so it's an unknown value. I'll also put changing, because in science a variable can be something that you change. Right? So it's an unknown or changing value, and it is usually a letter, but doesn't have to be. It could be a symbol, it could be just an empty box if you really wanted to. But because, especially in algebra, we graph a lot of things on the corner plane. We use x and y very often. It is usually a letter. Okie doke. Let's get to it. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Give me a phrase that you know, a word or phrase that means any of the operations. We don't have to go in order, just what do you know? Henry.
Subtraction.
Which is already up there. Yes, subtraction does mean subtraction. Do you have another word that means subtraction?
Minus.
Minus. We can do that. Minus. Hold on, I'm thinking. I have a... I gotta see someone's find it for a second here. There's something with subtraction I want to... Ah, that's what I want. Okay, got it. Okay. Lucas. Of means what?
Means multiplication.
Yeah, and actually it's most correct to say groups of. Okay, but yes, the word of we use it a lot in percentages, like 80% of 40, right? You can use multiplication by that. But groups of, and I'm going to jump over to division because the word groups can also be used with division by putting things into groups. Okay, if you put 24 kids into groups of 8. There will be 3 kids, or 3 groups, right? If you have 4 groups of 8 tacos, you've got 24 tacos. Lucky you, okay? Then,
Less than or subtraction?
Less than. I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to star this, because I'm going to come back to it later. I'm also going to, what?
Do we star it?
Yes, you should as well. I'm also going to put subtracted from and subtracted by.
What about negative? What about difference?
That is one that works too. Yes, if you want to add that in the little extra down below there. But subtracted from and subtracted by and less than can be pretty tricky because the order is a little bit funky. But difference is one that should go in there as well for sure. As long as we're on difference, I'll add it below here. Well, we're done with subtraction now. The word negative doesn't necessarily mean subtraction per se. I mean, subtraction signs, negative symbols, they are the same thing, but it doesn't mean the operation. But going with difference, what word means, you know, this is the answer to a subtraction calculation. What word means the answer to an addition calculation? Yeah. Sum. Put that in there, make sure we have it. What means the answer to a multiplication calculation? Claire, I'm sorry?
Times.
No, that does mean multiplication, but it does not mean the answer to a multiplication calculation. Lucas?
Product.
Product is what I was looking for. And how about for division? What word means the answer to a division calculation?
Quotient.
Quotient is correct. Okay, quotient is correct. Other multiplication terms, just I want to make sure that they get on here. Words like twice or triple, okay? Twice would mean times 2, right? Triple would mean times 3. What's the division equivalent for something like twice or triple, Dominic? Half or third or fourth or things like that, right? Half means divide by 2. If you take a third of something, you're divided by 3. All right, addition's lonely. What else we got for that? Okay.
More than.
More than, sure.
Greater. Plus.
Plus.
Greater than could work. Plus works.
Add.
What else we got? Add. Added to. Yeah.
Should we write all those down?
Huh?
Should we write all?
No, I mean you wouldn't have to. There's 2 I'm looking for. Well, at least 1 more I'm looking for sure. Might be a second one. I gotta let my brain catch up. Lucas.
Can I say one for division?
Sure.
Dividend.
Dividend. So that refers to a part of a division. It does. You wouldn't necessarily see that in a word problem describing the division. It is part of the division family, but dividend doesn't mean like that's the operation. It's a part of the division problem. If that makes sense. Maybe it does. Yeah.
All positive.
No, that's just a sign of the number. Total, like when you get your receipt and it says down the bottom total, right? That comes from adding everything together. Okay? Rolling?
Plus.
Plus.
That.
We'll put it in there. I don't know.
said that, yeah.
What were you looking for?
I'm not quite sure what I was looking for exactly. Division into groups, quotient, half and third. What else I want? Quotient.
Divided by.
Maybe just divided by. Maybe that's it. Yeah, I don't know. Divided by. Okay. So all these different words can mean all these different operations, and the trick of it is reading it, understanding what it's asking you to do. Like I said, setting it up and then actually doing it. Okay. Here's why I starred the less than and subtracted from. Okay, and I have it. This means like watch out, like danger, common mistake. It says be careful with subtraction. Unlike addition, the order of your expression matters. Right? With addition, 2 plus 3 is the same as 3 plus 2, both equal 5. With subtraction, 3 minus 2 is not the same as 2 minus 3. One is positive 1, the other is negative 1. Okay? When you've got these phrases here, less than and subtracted from, the order it's written is going to be the opposite of how it's going to look in the expression. For example, if I say 8 less than 10, you see the less than, you're thinking subtraction. The temptation might be to write 8 minus 10, right? But think about it. 8 less than 10 means what, Grace?
The number is 8 away from 10, so it's 2.
So how would you write that?
10 minus
10 minus 8, okay? 8 less than 10 means you're starting with 10. You're taking 8 less than that, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with subtracted from. 8 subtracted from 10 means you're starting with 10 and taking 8 away from that. That's going to be 10 minus 8. Whereas subtracted by, 8 subtracted by 10, that would mean 8 minus 10. So those two things, less than and subtracted from, the order in which it's written verbally is different than the order, it's the opposite order of what's going to be mathematically. Okay? I guarantee you there's going to be one like that on the test, where I use that phrase less than, just to see if you're paying attention. Okay? Okay. Good? Enough for now? We'll see. Okay, here we go. Going on. It says write the verbal phrase as an expression, and I do give you a value for the variable, and so you can solve it. You are going to, well, yeah, just validate the expression. The quotient of 16 and a number. What is this going to look like as a mathematical expression? Henry.
16 divided by 2.
16. We're going to start with 16 divided by n.
Oh, shit.
Okay, getting used to talking about variables and working with them. So first, you're going to do 16 divided by n. Then you are going to replace n with 2. So we get 16 divided by 2. And then that equals 8. So this is kind of like the process I want you to be thinking of. First of all, you're writing the expression with the variable a part of it. Then rewriting the expression with the value plugged in for the variable. And then solving it. Addie.
For these ones, do you have to show our work?
There really isn't a lot of, this is kind of the work that I want to see here. So you need this. Yeah. Generally, whatever I put up on the board, that's what I expect you to have in your homework. Okay. Does it matter which one comes first here? If it's 16 divided by n versus n divided by 16?
Yes.
It does. Okay. And so with division, this is why that less than subtracted from can be so confusing. With division, the number that is listed first is the numerator of the fraction. Okay. If you want to write this out instead as 16 divided by n, that's okay. It means the same. Okay. But you're going to start to see division more and more frequently in fraction form. That's just what math kind of evolves to. Okay. The product of a number and -7 as an expression, what does it look like? The product of a number and -7. Jude.
N times -7.
N times -7. You'll see this more commonly written as -7n, because remember with multiplication, order doesn't make a difference. And hey, if we could save ourselves writing that dot over a lifetime, that's a lot of marker. That's a lot of pencil that you are saving. Okay, mathematicians are lazy. Think of all the extra time you'll have not writing that dot every time. So when you've got a number and a variable, typically the number will be written first. That's called the coefficient, if you remember from last year. And then the variable right next to it means that you are multiplying. Now, -7 times n, if n is 2, you can use the dot, you can use parentheses, however you want to show multiplication is fine, just don't use the x. Please don't use the x. That gets too confusing when we start introducing variable x's and things like that. So, -7 times 2, and that equals -14. How are we doing so far?
Great.
Great. Let's look at twice the sum of a number and 6. This one is a little bit wordy. It's got multiple operations in it. Twice the sum of a number and 6. Who has the boldness, the bravery, the belief, the courage, the strength? Lauren.
So you do like n times 6 and then twist it?
You said n times 6? So this word sum means
N plus 6.
adding them. Okay, so you said take
That's one that we forgot.
a number, we wrote some up there.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we
did.
did. This is the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
We have n plus 6, and then Lauren says we want to twice it. How do we twice n plus 6? What's that going to look like?
You twice it.
How?
Twist it.
Just like times 2?
Yeah.
So like just like this? Okay? Anyone see any issues with this?
Oh, yes.
Kaylin?
Oh, oh. 6 would have to be in brackets.
Yes. Okay? If it says twice the sum, it means that we have to get the sum first. Right? What is the sum of n and 6? Then we're going to double that. If I just write times 2 here, I'm not doubling the sum. I'm only doubling 6 because of the order of operations. Right? We have to multiply first. So Kaylin said we have to add some parentheses. Now we can take twice the sum. And it's okay to put that 2 out in front of the parentheses or put it behind the parentheses. If you put it behind, you have to write times 2 with a dot. Save the time. Put it out in front, right? And that means 2 times the sum of n and 6. So when you see these words, sum, difference, quotient, product, it means you need to get those things first. Usually, you're going to need parentheses. Okay? Anyway, this now becomes 2 times 2 plus 6, which of course equals
16.
16. And that is your final answer. Okay? 41. Any others on this page that you see? Oh, I want to do that 17 less than 1 because I started earlier. Grayson?
Is it parentheses 2 times 9 close
Oh,
parentheses?
hold on. You're way faster than I am. Okay. Go ahead.
Parentheses 2 times 9, and then minus 17.
So a number in 9, we're going to write that first, which is going to be 9n, right? So we got, said parentheses, 2 times 9, or we'll eventually plug the 2 in, and then, what did you say?
Minus 17.
Minus 17. Is that correct? Yes. Is there another way to write it that's a little bit
Yes.
less work, because we all like that? Will?
You don't need the parentheses.
Yeah, we don't need the parentheses, because without the parentheses, just 9n minus 17, we have to do the multiplication first anyway, before we would subtract 17. If you put them, it's not wrong, okay? But they are not necessary in that case. But yeah, 17 less than the product, meaning we have to get that product first. Okay, I did say with words like sum, difference, product, quotient, you may need parentheses, you usually will. In this case, you don't, because we're going to have to get that product before we subtract anyway. Okay, but 17 less than the product of a number and 9, we see that less than phrase, that's going to flip the order. We take 9 times n and make 17 less than that. So 9 times 2 minus 17, 18 minus 17, we get 1 as an answer. Okay? Commas.
Oh.
Commas are another way that we can notate parentheses are necessary. It won't always mean parentheses are necessary, but it could. The total of 22 and a number, comma, divided by 6. First of all, what operation is total? Addition. Okay? That comma is like a break, it's like a pause, right? The total of 22 and a number divided by 6. Lucas, what do you think that's going to look like?
The answer?
I want the expression first.
Okay, we got 22 plus 2.
Well, plus n,
Plus
right?
n.
Yeah.
And then you get the parentheses around it.
Okay.
Over 6.
Okay. So if we put it over 6, do we need the parentheses?
No.
No. If we write it vertically, like this is here, it's understood that we have to do the numerator and the denominator first. Okay? We do not need parentheses if we write it vertically. If we write it horizontally, so it's 22 plus n divided by 6, here we do need the parentheses. Otherwise, we'll only be dividing n by 6, not the total, not the sum of 22 and n. So both ways mean the same thing. Vertically, you don't need parentheses. Horizontally, you do. Okay? Either way, you end up with 22 plus 2 divided by 6, or 24 divided by 6. Or you get 22 plus 2 in parentheses, which is 24, divided by 6. 4 is your final answer. Right? Lucas, question.
I was wondering, if you're doing division with the words, can you use over?
Yeah, that's kind of math slang. You know? People do it. It's not like a official math term, but everyone kind of knows what it means. So, if you want to be cool, you can say over. Okay, second page. The rest of this is going to be homework for Monday, because tomorrow's a retake day. So homework for Monday, not due tomorrow. Second page says, write the expression of the verbal phrase evaluate when n is 10. So now we're just going the other way. Okay? Let's pick a fun one. Let's do not the last one. Let's do 8 minus n divided by 2. How would you write this verbally? Someone we haven't heard from a lot today. It's been a while. Lauren?
So you would do, you'd put 10 over 2, but then you would do 8 minus 10 over 2.
Okay, so 8 minus n, and you're using the word over. Can we use a different word that's on our sheet? Or
Divided by.
divided by 8 minus n
Oh.
divided by 2. Okay. Where should we put our comma here to know? I mean, because if I just tell you
Oh, 8 minus n.
8 minus n divided by 2, I could mean 8 minus n divided by 2, or I could mean 8 minus n divided by 2. Where should my comma go to kind of further explain what's going on here?
Is it after the n?
If it's do it after the n, that's going to be what this is here.
Oh.
8 minus n is going to kind of lump that together and separate it from the divided by 2. If I want the divided by n divided by 2 together, the 8 separate, Peyton?
You put it before the end. After the minus.
After the 8. 8, comma, that happens alone, that stands alone, minus n divided by 2.
Oh,
Oh.
that makes
I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you know where Owen Minnick's stuff is?
Yeah, it's back right there.
Oh, it's right here. Okay, great.
Thank you. Okay, so yeah, comma placement, you want to put it after that thing that's standing alone. Yes?
Why don't we just say 8 minus the quotient of a number or 2?
You can do that, right? If you use 8 minus the quotient of a number and 2, you don't need the comma, because that quotient explains you need that first. So that is perfect. That is totally an option there. Okay? Lucas, very good point. Claire's, turn around.
He doesn't need it right now.
Okay. Emerson.
Should we say n or a number?
Sorry, I didn't realize you were trying to help.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. You can just put n, just save some time. Okay. Anyway, so then we are going to plug 10 in for this. So 8 minus n divided by 2, or 8 minus 10
Where did you it to?
divided by 2. Yep. And so you get 8 minus 5, which is 3 as an answer. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, comments, congratulations, criticisms on this? Yeah.
Oh, thank you for teaching it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Matthew.
Are you close to 300 subs?
I don't know. I haven't checked in a couple days. I'm kind of afraid. Lucas.
Congratulations.
For what?
That.
Thank you. I didn't invent it myself, but appreciate that. Gabe.
What's your button say?
It says, I danced like no one was watching, but the priest told me to sit back down. Damien.
I think we did this a lesson just like this last year.
Very similar, probably. I don't think it was the exact same. Maybe it was. I mean, I am that lazy. Just copy and paste the entire thing. If it was, then this should be easy peasy. Okay?
Can I just go home and change it out?
If that's what you want to do. Matthew.
No, congrats on getting close to 300 subs.
Well, thank you. I don't know what I'm at.
Yeah,
Lauren.
what's your sub count?
Last one. Oh boy.
Show the last account.
Everybody.
I think it's really good that the three sat down.
I'm gonna stop calling you for a while. Henry.
What was I gonna say?
I have no idea. If I knew, I
Lost my
would.
train of thought.
Okay. All right, folks. Homework for Monday. The rest of CO4. The one at the bottom is a true word problem where you need to kind of set it up yourself, then do the calculation. I'm gonna let you embrace the struggle with that one. See what you can do, especially if you had this lesson last year, then by all means, okay? But do Monday, tomorrow's a retake day. Bring your practice works to do retakes from the entrance exam. That is how you math.
Remember to like and subscribe.